listening to Pop Punk and Pizza with Jacques Lamour.
Hello and welcome to Pop Punk and Pizza. I'm, of course, Jacques Lamour, your host. Forever grateful that you are spending some time here with us tonight for our live stream, or maybe you're listening to the podcast version. Whichever it is, thank you so much for being here. I am going to forewarn you, I have been having internet trouble lately, and I think I have my modem situation all fixed, but there is potential that it's not fixed and my internet could cut out again. So if that's the case, I apologize. And if it does happen, then it looks like maybe I need to buy a new modem. But that's a whole nother ball game, and that's behind the scenes stuff we don't need to talk about. But our special guest on the show today is the guitarist of a pop punk band called Eugene Levy out of Iowa near Davenport. And his name is Cameron Smith. And so this is probably the closest I'm ever going to get to having Eugene Levy actually on Pop Punk and Pizza, you know, so like the actor, I mean, you know, we'll just have the band instead because they're pop punk after all, right? So let's give a big warm welcome to Cameron Smith. How's it going, Cameron?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
I'm a longtime listener and big fan of what you do, man. So
thanks man. Again. Yeah, it means a lot. So, yeah, it's so funny. So we were, before we started our recording, we were talking, just, you know, shooting the shit, rather. And he's like, Cameron's like, yeah, I'm actually in Chicago right now. And I'm like, dude, why didn't you tell me? Like, because I live just an hour south of Chicago. And yeah, we totally could have possibly done this in person. I would have loved to have brought you some Chicago pizza, but you were telling me you're in Chicago twice a week, so you probably already get Chicago pizza regularly, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the Giordano's and the,
right.
I mean, I've got the menus, man. I mean, they can just deliver it right to me. So
right, because you're right in a hotel.
Rosati's. I mean, do you know of any Rosati's? Is it good? I don't know.
I think Rosati's is good, but I mean,
but this one.
Giordano's, do you like? Is that your favorite that you've had?
That's one of mine. I haven't dabbled in maybe there's underground spots that I don't know of. I think that's kind of like a bigger sort of chain, right? In regards to
it's
Chicago
huge.
style. See,
yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
I think I'd rather like to, I think I'd like to try one of those just like old mom and pop wood, brick oven or how, you know what I mean? Like
brick oven is good.
That's my thing.
Yeah, there's a down. I live in the Kankakee area, which is just about an hour south of the city, and there's a food truck that does nothing but brick oven pizzas, and they're called Mia Bella's. And they actually they're based down here in the county, but they go all over the Chicagoland area to different events, and it is so good. Just wood.
Real.
Yeah, it's just the brick oven or wood fire, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really interesting to see how they have like made that whole thing mobile. It's pretty fascinating to watch, but it's super good.
I'm trying to even think about how you would get a brick oven inside of a truck, sort of thing, or you know what I mean, like.
Yeah, I forget. It's been a while since I've seen them, but yeah, I forget exactly how they do it. But I'm gonna have to ask them one day. Yeah, Brittany Edwards says Mom and Pop's pizza is the best, and
thanks, Brittany.
Yeah, I could not agree more. There are so many places in the city that I have yet to explore. Because obviously I don't live in the city.
Sure.
And I'm not there, especially with how COVID's been. I haven't been there barely at all. I think I went to Chicago for the first time in like a year about a month ago. Yeah, because there haven't been any shows going on,
Yeah.
So because you go see your friends' bands play, or you see your favorite band play, whatever it is. So you go up to Chicago and you see them.
Sure, exactly.
Yeah. So Anyway, so yeah, what do you do with your work then that brings you to Chicago a couple times?
I do boat work, so like boat
Oh,
inspections, like yachts, that sort of thing. So I'm in Lake Michigan a lot. Uh, right off Lakeshore Drive here, and yeah, it's my father's business. So kind of
so you literally do nothing else. You just inspect boats for their safety before they.
safety. Yeah, their safety. They're a lot of times it's for somebody who's buying a boat, right? And they're buying like a used boat.
Okay, so
So
you're like the
it's like bringing them
mechanic.
to a mechanic, or like hey, like metal is different than like you can look at metal and be like, ooh, this is a rusted out turd, right? Like on the body, right? So the body, so like a boat is like different. It's a fiberglass structure, and there's a lot of things that go on inside that the naked eye can't see. So I'm trained to do like moisture tests and sounding hammer stuff, so I can find like rot or delamination of fiberglass, that sort of thing. And yeah, and I get to do sea trials on the lakes or on the rivers. And I mean, it's a sweet job, man. It's a few hours out of my day, and the rest is in the office right here at the computer,
Yeah,
typing away the report for the customer. So it's
that
really
sounds
cool,
so
man. It
cool.
really is. It's laid back. I make my own schedule. My father runs the company, so it's a family business, and
Okay.
and then I do
Brittany,
Eugene Levy on the side.
Eugene Levy on the side. Brittany Edwards says, "Screw fiberglass. It's a pain in the ass."
Yeah, I don't do any repair or anything like that. So I actually I don't know if I envy, but I damn sure respect and feel sorry for fiberglass repair guys, because Jesus H, it's
Yeah,
just
how does that? Do you know how that process works?
I know how it works. It's just a
Uh
lot,
huh. Yeah,
it's a lot of it's done right. It comes out of a chop gun, chop strand mat. So fiberglass layers get shot out of a gun like a paint gun,
that's
and then
weird.
right. So then it's resin. So there's a resin that you roll out on like literally a paint roller, and you roll it out, roll it out, and then another layer of chop strand, roll out another layer of fiberglass resin, and it makes this cohesive thing. And you gotta wait for the catalyst to cure, and yeah, you can't apply too soon or too late. It's a science. It's
I was
intense.
gonna say this is very scientific. I love it. Do you
Oh man,
have
it's big time.
do you
Yeah,
have
it's
to
big
do
time.
they take like a blowtorch or anything like that to it to like
Nope.
how does it it just
The
cures on
chemical
its own?
reaction, the chemical reaction happens on its own through the chemical
Okay.
properties inside the resin, and the properties of the fiberglass. Yeah.
I mean, you sound like you could actually repair a boat, even though you don't.
That's the thing, though, right? So, I mean, as a marine surveyor, as my occupation's called, we don't have the luxury of being wrong or not having the answer. So, I have to sit up a lot of nights and read on books and learn that sort of thing, because my clients are going to ask me, and it just looks good on you, right? To know what
Right.
the hell you're
Yeah.
talking about. So,
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of when I had the inspection done on my house
on
here.
your home,
Yeah,
exactly.
you know,
Yep.
and because we looked at a couple different houses, and actually we almost bought a different one. We had a contract on, and we had an inspection done, and the basement was in really bad shape as
Like the
far as
foundation, right? So that's just like the
yes.
boat. So if the hull is in this condition, typically the
Mm,
customer will, hey, we're gonna walk. We're gonna
yeah,
get my deposit back or not get my deposit back. Regardless, I'm saving X amount of dollars on a nightmare vessel.
exactly.
So
So
that's why they hire us. You know what I mean? So yeah.
yeah, but it's amazing that is the company based in Iowa or is it based in
St. Louis
Chicago?
is where we started.
Oh wow. So
Yeah,
you're
I'm
all
from
over.
Missouri. Yeah, I'm from Missouri originally. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, that's where I grew up. Went to high school, middle school, elementary, all that. So, and then we kind of expanded into Iowa. We're doing a lot of commercial work, on the Mississippi River, and so we moved up there, opened up shop there, and then said, why not expand to Chicago and try to get in that market a little bit? So,
Have you ever taken a boat from like St. Louis, like on the Mississippi up
no,
to
no, I
to
never have.
Davenport?
No, I have never have, but people do it all the time, right? And they take them. I mean, good Lord, they take them from Louisiana all the way to Minneapolis, the
Yeah.
whole way up. And there's a lot of times of like retired couples and that sort of thing. They love it. That's what they do every year. They do it every year. They go up and down, and they may live in Minnesota, but they spend their winters down in the Gulf, and
Okay.
Mississippi all the way down. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's something I've always wanted to do. Is
Oh,
go on.
without question. I would
Yeah,
love that.
is do the
Yeah,
whole, from top to bottom.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be so
Never
cool.
don't have the time, the money, nor do I own a boat
And
like
after
that.
seeing all the boats that you've seen, you would probably never
I'm
ever want to
I'm
own a
scared to
boat.
own a boat. Yeah, you're right. You are right.
You're like, I think I'm good,
I see enough of them, right?
Yeah,
I own a fiberglass, or not a fiberglass, say aluminum like fishing boat, hunting, a duck hunting boat. So that's
sure.
as far
That's
as I'll go. As
yeah,
far as
that
I'll go.
right. That's a little different. That's a lot easier to just
Oh,
haul around and
yeah, you ding it up, nobody cares. It's
right.
relatively cheap, easy welding to fix or crop and renew. It's
Yeah,
easy.
yeah, exactly. So let's get into Eugene Levy.
Yeah, there we go. That's
And
what I'm looking for.
not the band, or not the actor, but the band, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
And
I'm sorry.
I thought it would be fun
Okay.
to test your knowledge to see how much you actually know about Eugene Levy.
I knew this was coming too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if anyone has ever done this to you in an interview, but
Never.
I mean, I'm thinking like this band is called Eugene Levy. They're naming their band after the actor,
Man,
and also their logo is from the American Pie movie. I mean,
that's right.
they have to know, at least some things about Eugene Levy. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm trying to think if I made it to 10 questions.
Oh my God.
I made it to 9. Okay,
I
I made
will
it to 9.
never.
No, this is gonna be fun. I promise, because it's all multiple choice.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
This is
Cool.
all multiple
I might
choice. All
do
right.
well. I might do okay in this then. All right.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I'm no. I'm not that much of a dick. Like,
Ooh, I was gonna be like, this is gonna be embarrassing, boy.
no. And I tried, like, some of these are a little hard, but like I said, they're all multiple choice and true and false.
Oh
So I
man.
mean, and
What's
then
that? What was that show that you had to do? You had the multiple choice, and they got harder. It was for the million. Remember, it was for the million.
oh, right, Who Wants to Be a
Oh,
Millionaire?
yeah,
Right?
That's
Yeah,
what it makes me
yeah.
feel like. So cool.
Yeah, this is Who Wants to Be Eugene Levy. Um, no, I think we'll call this Does Eugene Levy Know
No,
Eugene
Eugene
Levy?
Levy. That's sweet. That's a
Yeah.
really cool segment. I love that.
All right, so now before we start, if you get more of these correct than incorrect, I will get you whatever piece of Pop Punkin' Pizza merch that you want. A shirt,
Oh, cool.
a hoodie,
I
whatever it
appreciate it.
is. I'll get
Sure.
it sent out to you because you deserve something, right?
Sure, I
So
get it.
it would have been pizza, but well, actually, it could be pizza. Next time you're in Chicago, just
Oh,
just
absolutely.
let me know,
Yeah,
and we can meet up for pizza. So
without question, that'd be great, man.
yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, Cameron, here we go. All right, so question number 1 about Eugene Levy. He was born in which country? Was it A, the United States, B, Canada, or C, Mexico?
It's Canada.
There you go. I should have had my my buzzer sound.
Ding! Or yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
You
I've
have
got my my
a horn or
TikTok.
something.
I've got my TikTok here.
Oh,
I've
no.
got that going on.
Okay.
But I don't have my
What a sweet soundboard, man.
you like that? Thank you.
That is really cool.
So you got number 1 right. Yes, he was born in
Love that.
Canada. Okay, number 2. Eugene Levy's 2 children, Dan and Sarah, co-starred with him on the TV show Schitt's Creek. Is this true or false?
It's true.
Yes, that is correct. Which, it took me like I binged watched that whole show on Netflix.
So did we. Yeah.
And I didn't realize that Sarah, his daughter, was Twyla until like I forget. I think it was like literally the very end, like the last
Oh,
episode.
really? See, it was like midway for me. It was like midway into like the first season where I'm just like, man, you would have thought that like if Dan is his son, you know what I mean? Like in real life, why would you not have them both play? Do you know what I mean? Instead of having Alexis be Alexis,
yeah,
why
and
would you?
I'm sure they've explained that in interviews, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I've tried to dibble into some of them, but I just haven't, I haven't had all that much time. But yeah, I enjoy Dan and I enjoy Eugene, respectively.
Oh, hell yeah.
So.
Hell yeah, man. Wow, you're ace. See, I told you, these aren't so bad. Some of them are going to get a little tricky, but all right, so here's number 3. Eugene Levy was raised in a Jewish, Catholic, or Muslim family.
He's Jewish.
Yes. All right. So Eugene Levy so far knows Eugene Levy. You got 3 out of 3 so far. Number 4. So in the movie American Pie, Eugene Levy was told he could improvise most of his dialogue for his character.
Yeah.
Is this true or false? I'll repeat it for you. So in the movie American Pie, Eugene Levy was told that he could improvise most of his dialogue for his character. Is this true or false?
I don't know that one. I'm gonna say true.
Yes! Nailed it again.
I thought you were kind of trying to trick me. You know what I mean?
Well,
like he was told. Well, then it was like, okay, well, if he was told, then it's got to be true. But he could be also trying to like yank on me a little bit.
Well,
Damn.
I'm just that one. We got to. Is Nick from?
Nick's our bass player, so I'm gonna keep him on speed dial. If I have to phone a friend, he said.
There we go. Nick is here to help
Nick.
you.
Appreciate you.
I was trying to, like I said, I've only got 9, so.
Yeah, got me nervous, man.
All right. We're up to number 5 already, and you've aced this thing so far.
This is great.
All right, so number 5 is how many American Pie movies did Eugene Levy star in? Was it A, 4, B, 6, or C, 8?
6.
Oh.
4. It's 4, isn't it?
It's 8.
Is it all 8?
It's 8. He is in
Oh
all
my God.
8. He's the only one that's been in all 8 American Pie movies.
I'll be damned. Yeah. I didn't watch all of them after Jesus.
Well,
wedding.
who watched the spin-off ones?
I didn't.
I mean, I still haven't seen the reunion one that they did.
Oh, I didn't see the reunion one either. No.
Yeah. You know, I that's still one I got to see. I know, so close, but I mean, 4 out of 5 is really good so far. We're okay. We're okay.
Yeah,
you're still good. All right, so up to number 6. I kept a lot of these around American Pie just because obviously.
Well, why not?
Your logo is the American Pie logo,
That's
and
right.
it's one of the most pop punk movies ever made. So, all right, so number 6. This one is also kind of tricky. What is his first name in the American Pie films? Is it A, Jim, B, Noah, or C, Indiana?
It's Noah.
Yes, correct. I tried to make that one a little easier just because.
It was.
I was like, it definitely wasn't Indiana.
It's definitely not Indiana. But if you also watched it,
I should be giving you a round of applause every time you get one right.
I love that.
All right. Let's
That's
see.
what I'm talking about, man.
You're doing really good, man.
I'm actually impressed.
We've got 3 left. Okay, so is it Tara Reid? Okay. Tara Reid and Eugene Levy, they starred in another film together besides American Pie.
Okay.
It was A, Josie and the Pussycat Dolls, B, Cat in the Hat, or C, Garfield.
He was in Josie and the Pussycat Dolls.
Yes.
Why do I know that? Because our song, You Understand Life, has the excerpt from his little that scene where, "Hi, I'm Eugene Levy."
Yes, that's right. That's right.
That's
I
in one of
listened to
our
that.
songs.
I
Yeah, so
was I
that,
was hoping that I was like, okay, like he should know this one
yeah,
because
yeah,
it
yeah,
does.
yeah.
Yeah, right. I listened to that song earlier today, so
Yeah.
another
Nice.
reason why I threw that one in there. Okay.
Right.
All right. Two more, man.
Let's do it.
Two more. You got this. All right.
I think so.
If you're just joining us for this live stream, this is called Eugene Levy, or does Eugene Levy know Eugene Levy? Pretty much.
Yeah, it's been really cool.
This is so corny, but I hope someone's enjoying it.
Oh, they're all enjoying it. Come on.
Okay, number 8. True or false? Prior to Schitt's Creek, Catherine O'Hara, who plays Moira,
That's right.
and Eugene Levy, prior to Schitt's Creek, they had never worked together before.
That's false.
Okay, wonderful. That was, once again,
They're dear friends. They're dear friends.
they've been working to. Well, they both started working together early on in the Second City, Toronto days, but way back in the 70s. So
I wonder if that was the SCTV days.
yes, I think it
I
was.
don't know that she was. Was she? Was she into that?
No, she was. She was in the sketch comedy TV show.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
Wow, good for her. Wow, that's been a long time.
All right, so this is the last one, okay? And I'm pretty sure I know this is, like I said, I made these easy. I didn't want to make these too hard, you know.
No, I get it.
Okay, but before we go on the last one, I have to share this comment because this is funny. This is a good question. Veronica from Pop Punk Takeout is asking, would a Eugene Levy cover band be called a Dan Levy cover band or a Dan Levy band?
Ooh, it could be. It could be.
I think we have
to. That's actually not bad. Not bad. Or would you call it Schitt's Creek? Well, you couldn't do that, could you? We're still like learning and kind of not worrying about, but we're like waiting for the cease and desist letter. Like waiting on that.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
surely it's going to happen, right? Unless Eugene is cool with all of this. And
well, here's what Barry's saying. He said, no, Dan Levy is their side project.
Dan Levy is their side project. Okay. Barry says no. It's actually the side project. So
okay.
Yeah,
so
Barry is the fiance of our lead singer.
Okay.
Martinez. So yeah, Barry is a dear friend of the band.
Very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Keeps Brian in line and dresses him appropriately for outings.
Someone's got to do it, right?
Jesus H, somebody does. Yeah.
Okay,
thanks, Barry.
Yeah, thank you, Barry, and thank you, Veronica, as well. So, all right, our last question. All right, are you ready for this?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay. So, this one is the easiest one, I swear.
Okay,
the name of Eugene Levy's character in Schitt's Creek is A, Johnny Bravo, B, Johnny Rose, or C, Johnny English?
Johnny Rose.
Hey, that was a pretty good impression.
I'm trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was not bad. That was not bad. I liked that. So
Johnny Rose Video Store.
So it turns out that Eugene Levy does know Eugene Levy pretty well because you got 8 out of 9, man.
8 out of 9?
8 out of 9. So that means you're gonna get some Pop Punk and Pizza merch, and then maybe pizza the next time you're in town.
Can't wait,
how
man.
About that? Yeah.
And I will rock it on stage. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. Thanks for being a good sport.
No problem, man. No problem. It was really fun.
Brittany says, winner, pizza dinner.
I love that.
Yes.
Brittany, you're not wrong.
No, not wrong at all. Thanks for being a good sport on that, because I'm like, man, he might completely hate this. And now that I went through all of these, I'm like, maybe I made him too easy, you know? Maybe I should have made him harder.
Hey, for a band that, you know what I mean? Like, a band that uses the name Eugene Levy, darn it, you better know. You know what I mean?
I
You
mean,
think,
that's what I
but
was thinking,
I
man.
know
And, that's what Veronica's saying. Like, you
they
you
get to
did.
keep their band name. That's cool.
I wish I
That's
would
cool.
have thought up 10. Like, I was so close, but I came short. I ran out of time, to be honest.
Oh,
So.
that's all right.
But so now that we know that Eugene Levy does know Eugene Levy pretty well, let's talk about the actual band and not so much about the actor.
Cool.
So your latest single, On the Rocks, features Nick Thompson from Hit the Lights. How did Nick come into play with On the Rocks?
Um, we were looking for somebody, right? We thought a feature was in, you know, a feature that was on a different level, right? Than the band, ourselves. Um, Nick was available. I knew somebody who knew Nick personally, and I thought, man, what if I bring this to the guys? Like, would you guys be cool with Nick being on one? And of course, everybody obliged with, like, duh, idiot. Then, send him the shit, So,
Like,
uh,
no, fuck that guy.
yeah, are you kidding me? No. So, I was trying to get approval from the band and everybody, but once it was all a go, man, I got his email and I shot him 3 demos and let him choose the vibe he wanted, that he kind of, envisioned in his head. And it turned out to be the demo for On the Rocks. And we just worked on that one, kind of over quarantine and whatnot, and put it together, and it is what it is now.
So the way you just kind of presented that now, did he end up like helping you produce the song a little bit too?
He had ideas on how a couple of parts should be sang. In particular, like a fun fact about the last chorus in the song, Brian says, "Could you be the one to save me?" instead of "I know you will never save me." So we flip it to be the a more of a kind of a turnaround, right? So it's a kind of a negative into positive, like, hey, could you finally be the one to save me? And so that was a Nick's idea. So yeah, I mean, he helped with some of that stuff, but instrumentally it was already done, right? So instrumentally it was already strong. He did say, however, to double the length of the bridge. So the bridge that he sings on was half of that length during the demo, and he thought it should rock more. We should really bring that vibe home and extend it. And so we doubled the bridge for him, and yeah, so he had a little say in some stuff. Don't get me wrong, and we would never say, hey, fuck off. No, we're not going to listen to you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he
We're gonna
doesn't
hit the
know
lights,
anything.
dude. Like, send all the critiques and suggestions our way, of course. So yeah,
Yeah,
man, he was absolutely a cohesive unit in all this. So
that's awesome.
and then he obviously is in the music video as well, so that was cool of him.
Yeah.
Obviously shot in the safety of his home
Hmm.
in North Carolina or South Carolina, I can't remember.
Oh,
But
is he in the Carolinas
he's
now?
Carolinas now.
Okay.
He's not in Ohio anymore.
Okay. Um, I I've only met Nick one time, and
Oh,
it was
really?
actually at his house in Ohio. Um,
Okay.
so I was working merch for a band that was on tour with Trapped at the time,
Nice.
and they had been on tour with Hit the Lights before. Um, and so they knew the guys pretty well. They knew Nick,
Sure.
and I think we were coming from Nashville, and we were on our way to Michigan, I think. And so we needed a place to crash, and they must have one of the guys must have hit up Nick, I think, is how it worked. But anyway, we ended up staying in Nick's house, and the next morning, him and his, I think, wife
Yeah.
made us breakfast.
Oh,
And
awesome.
let me tell you, those two know how to make breakfast, man. Like, they made some serious French toast and scrambled eggs, and
What?
yeah, It
For
was,
one, Nick's the nicest dude I've ever like talked to and been. You know what I mean? He's just that nice of a guy.
yeah,
That's
he
not a
was,
front, man. It's
no,
just who he is.
I agree. He was super cool.
Yeah, man, he's
So
really cool.
it's cool to say like I slept on Nick Thompson's floor. You know, I mean,
Yeah, that is cool.
I know he's not the most famous person in pop punk, but it's still, it's still
He's well
cool.
known, man. You kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think so. So,
I tell you a lot. The numbers that we have on Spotify and streaming right now are not solely because of Eugene Levy. It's because of that name. I'm sure of it. Sitting in the
oh
Thanks,
man.
Nick.
So
Thank you
yeah,
for everything.
yeah. Nick, you are a gem, man. Thank you for that French toast like 8 years ago. Appreciate that.
Shit.
Oh, here we go. Kyle Phillips, what artists influenced your sound? Is
Well, the
what
sound of the band, I would assume, is what Kyle's talking about. So I think because we all have different styles, is what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? Like
well,
my
yeah,
what?
I mean, I guess if Kyle's still watching, I guess he can chime in on that if he's. I'm assuming he's talking about the band, but
I would assume.
I suppose he could be asking you directly. But
Sure.
let's just assume he's talking about the band Eugene Levy. Like,
Yeah.
what artists have influenced your
What
sound?
artist? Probably the number one would be Newfound Glory. Um, you know, Handguns. Some of the older 2000s pop punk, and a lot of newer stuff. So I think you get a little neck deep, and you get a little hit the lights. You get a little that modern sound, right? That's a little different than the 2000s, but I think we do a really good job of blending them and kind of doing our own thing with it, right? So a lot of guys try to do the whole blending thing of early 2000s and new school stuff. But I think we have our own take on it. We have our own sound, I think, and I think you get that with On the Rocks. Um, it's just a different vibe, right? It's not, I don't think you expect that out of a pop punk band per se. That sound, that
Yeah, I agree. There is. I hear the many different decades, I guess, or eras of
really, yeah,
pop, of pop punk
sure,
in
sure,
your sound, in Eugene
yeah.
Levy's sound. So
um, yeah, like the song you were talking about. Do you understand life? I mean, that comes from a very, very modern. That's a very modern feeling song, right? So a very modern pop punk feeling song. I reference Neck Deep a lot. They're a huge influence on me in regards to how I write songs. The pop punk genre, anyhow. Um, they just do a really good job. They've done well for years, and that punchy sound, that kind of that big sonic space fillers. They just have a different sound about them, and I think that's what I gravitate towards. Don't get me wrong, I love the older stuff, but I think our vocalist and our the other guitarist, Brian, when he puts the lead and articulation, harmonies and such in the guitar of the rhythms that I'm playing. I think his style digs into a lot of Tom DeLonge, right? So he's got a lot of Tom DeLonge, melodies in regards to his lead, the lead playing melodies. So sure, we all bring everything together, right? So I'm not so much the older school guy. I'm more the new school guy. It's just because it's what I like to listen to, so I like to play it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
bring that to the table, and then the other guys bring their elements to the table, and I think it just naturally, makes this cohesive thing that is just Eugene Levy. And I don't think that we sound like anybody else, which is a really cool, thing to have, right? To not be a rip off of somebody. So that's
right.
just it's a long answer, I know, but it's
No,
it's
no,
hard to
you're fine.
explain, man. It really is, and I've found that as I keep doing these interviews and whatnot, it's hard to explain our sound and our style. That's the best way I can do it, I think.
Yeah, and Brittany said what I was going to say. Making your own sound and being authentic is true as being true to any band or musician. I mean, that's always the point, right?
She's right. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
absolutely correct. Yeah.
Making your own stamp, your own
That's it.
brand, your
That's
own,
right.
taste,
That's right.
flavor, whatever you want to call it. Everyone's got a different name for it.
Yeah,
So,
and I just don't, I think that, unfortunately, a lot of pop punk bands nowadays, they're, there's an influx, right? Right now, there's just an influx of, ass loads of pop punk bands, and it's a great thing. However, it's easier now to get lost in that crowd, right? As an artist or as a band, so many guys want to, well, son of a bitch, I need to sound like Neck Deeper. I need to sound like The Story So Far. Or I need to sound like this. And when you do that, you know what I mean? You're not doing yourself any favors. And so
no.
that's what I think, and Brittany's right, because we hearken hard on that in the studio. Like, I don't want this to sound like anybody else. You know what I mean? We have our own sound, and I think we're dialing it in now in our third year as a band. This is it. You know what I mean? We found it. We found it early on, which is a great thing. Some bands, it takes longer to find their sound. The early stuff from Eugene Levy was 100% 2000s, early 2000s. It was no strings attached. It just was what it was. The second EP is when I came in the band. And so my influence starts at A Night In. So when you listen to Here's to Someone and A Night In, those two EPs, you hear the difference immediately. You hear the influence and what I brought to the table. But Brian kept those melodies in the way that he likes to sing 2000s pop punk melody songs and pop songs. He loves pop in general. So we use a lot of pop elements in our songs. Do you know what I mean? So I do a lot, man. I put a lot of hard rock influence, like some generic hard rock guitar influence in songs that people would never know. What do you think Mankind was? The song I'm Like Mankind, The Way I Never Said I Quit. In no way, shape, or form is the main riff pop punk riff. The verse, I went pop punk on that one. Very generic, if you will. But yeah, I come from a hard rock background, man. Like you were saying,
so what kind of what kind of hard rock we talking about?
Like Breaking Benjamin, Seven Dust.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That sort of mainstream, if you will. So that's what I grew up on, right? I grew up on that. I'm 31 years old. I grew up on this music. I didn't get into punk until I was in 8th grade, I think, and it was because of my high school or my band at the time that I was in. Singer was older and was obsessed with MXPX. That was the first punk band I've ever fucking listened to.
That's me right here.
Dude, I love MXPX now, right? So
I'm obsessed. Yeah.
Yeah, Left Coast. You know what I mean? Like, I love it, man. I do. And that's so that kind of started me into the pop punk or punk genre. And now punk is too abrasive for me. It's too abrasive is a damn good word. It really is. I want more hooks now, right? So I want more of a feel. And I think we feel more with pop. And there's something it does to your body, I think. There's just something that it does to your body when you hear an absolutely giant arena-style cinematic hook, that something's just so damn catchy, right? So, hell, Settle Your Scores just laid one on us with 1999 yesterday.
Yes, that was good.
There's another arena hook that's it's gonna stand the test of time, right? So that's what we want to do in our music. We want that shit stuck in your head, but we want to be unique. So I think we're on the way. We're doing the right thing in regards to being ourselves, and I think On the Rocks was a big one for that. That's not all you're going to get from Eugene Levy. It's not, everything's going to sound like On the Rocks from here on out. Not at all. We're already scaling up a release, for this summer potentially. So, and this one is not drastically different, but it's different, right? So it's more of a, hey, let's bring you back to, to the 2008, 2005 Newfound Glory bangers. You know what I mean? Like All Downhill From Here, that sort of, you know what I mean? That sort of vibe.
Yeah.
So that's, so I mean, we dibble in all of it, but we want to stay true to pop punk and true to the early 2000s and what really was a staple in all of our lives growing up. So and we just, we sprinkle the modern stuff in there as we go.
And you do a great job at it, and that's absolutely what I hear when I hear Eugene Levy anyway. I hear that mix. I hear everyone's influence in there all coming together, and
I love that. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I hope all the listeners do. So
so you have a PRS Guitars endorsement, and what's your favorite thing about a PRS? What attracts you to PRS guitars?
First, when I was a kid, it was the headstock.
Okay.
The shape of the headstock is fucking sick. So that drew me in. Go ahead.
Everyone's got a certain part of the guitar, I guess, that draws them in.
When I first saw that headstock, dude, I was like, "Look at this badass son of a gun!" And so I was like, who's playing these now, right? And so, Limp Bizkit, Wes Borland, Mark Tremonti, Creed, hell, everybody was playing PRS, and I don't care who. I mean, you name a '90s or early 2000s mainstream rock and or pop punk. Good Charlotte.
They played PRS, or they still do, right?
One of the guys does. I don't remember his name, but yeah. So Benji, I think, did a little bit along with their other guitar player. But yeah, so Good Charlotte was one. I mean, yeah. So it's been a staple for me for years since I've been playing, and I've owned them for years throughout my playing career. And now I just love the uniqueness that Paul Reed Smith that brings. They bring in their products. I love the craftsmanship that they bring in their products. I love the overall aesthetic of the product. I love the word I'm looking for.
The design?
Not the design. It's how well it's tried and true on, from like night in and night out. Doesn't need anything done to it. It's stands the test of time. It's a well-built instrument that doesn't need a lot of, tinkering.
Modifications.
Absolutely. Once it comes off the shelf, man, you play that damn thing. You know what I mean? It's ready to go. It's going to sound amazing, and that product's it's gonna last a tour, or it's gonna last anything you put it through, man. They're a workhorse. So the product speaks for themselves, man. Everybody knows Paul Reed Smith who knows guitars, and the product speaks for themselves.
I actually have a PRS as well.
Do you really?
Yeah, and I love everything about it, except I just want more. I want more oomph, more aggression out of my pickups. So that's the only thing. Like,
what model do you have?
I can't even remember the model. I should I should look up a picture.
Is it a double cut? Double cutaway, or is it a single cut like a Les Paul?
It's more of like a Les Paul looking.
It's got to be a single cut then. So
I should look.
Yeah, look it up. I'm very curious because I wonder if they put the 8515s in the bridge pickup. So unfortunately,
I'm gonna look for a photo. So feel free to talk.
Go ahead. Yeah, no. So what I do on both of mine, and I run CE 24s, the American line.
Okay.
So I fit both of my guitars with Evertune bridges, which I'm also an artist with Evertune. So they hooked me up with 2 bridges. I have so they never go out of tune.
Yes, those are
perfect
awesome.
intonation. It's unreal. Mm-hmm. However, I had to cut into this expensive instrument, both of them, right, with a router. But I also changed the pickup. So the 8515s are great for what they do, but I want that oomph and that ass, if you will. And so I put the HFS in all of my bridge position pickups. So if you want more oomph, I would consider going the HFS route. I think that's really all you'd need, man. I really do. Mm-hmm. It should be a solid mahogany body. I mean, it should have everything you're looking for. A pickup is the microphone of that instrument. So, yeah.
Okay, I've got a picture.
Good. Throw it up.
Let's see if. So this is. Can you see that?
It's the Vela. Is that the Vela?
See, the reason why
Or is that the Starla?
See, the reason why I don't know what model it is because I bought it from a friend and I don't
Okay.
remember him even telling me. And I've never been a big PRS guy. I've always been more of a, Gibson Epiphone or a Fender Telecaster. Like, those are usually the ones I would go back and forth. So when I went and bought this off my friend, it was, my first time getting into PRS, and honestly, yeah, the only thing I don't like about it is
Yeah.
I just want more output from my pickups,
Yeah,
a
your
little more
pickups there.
gain, a little more
Yep. So
gain.
now that I'm looking at this guitar, so it's the S2
Hmm.
model. I can tell that with the bevel,
Okay.
the bevel top. So it's an S2 Starla. That's got like classic, very classic rock uh,
Yeah, that sounds about
pickups in
right.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. So get yourself a different set. You could go 8515 or you could go the HFS route and you would be
Hmm.
very, very happy. Those
Okay.
pickups just aren't for for what you like or what you want to do. And
Right.
they never will be.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, if you need pickups, let me know.
Yeah, I will do, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that because it's been something I've wanted
I
to
think
to
I have an
modify.
8515. I think I have an 8515.
Okay.
I will ship it to you for no cost. And
Oh, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
you can't buy 8515s unless they come out of a model. They don't sell them aftermarket. So
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
if you want a PRS, it's like a PRS family thing, man. If I'm not going to use this pickup, it damn sure shouldn't go to waste in my drawer.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't feel bad about it. I'll send it to you. I'd like to see how you like it anyhow.
Well, thanks, man.
Yep,
I appreciate that a lot.
no problem.
Yeah, literally, every time I switch back and forth between my PRS and my Telecaster, I go to my amp and I turn up my gain knob on my amp when I switch to the PRS, just because.
Unreal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
we'll put a stop to that, man.
and and
We'll put a stop to that.
I'm coming from, see, my Telecaster has a Seymour Duncan hot rail pickup in it, so it's very
Single coil, but it's hot.
it's right, it's like a double coil but in a single coil, so
That's great.
it kicks you right in the ass.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's got a lot of output and a lot of gain and a lot of crunch, and so I go from that to the PRS, which has a great sound, but there's just not as much of
Of course,
distortion and everything I want. So yeah, I always have to
of course.
turn that up and then turn it back down once I get once I get back
Pain
to
in
my
the ass.
telly
Yeah,
eventually.
it's a
But
pain in the ass.
it could be worse, honestly.
No, it could, but
Yeah.
luckily we talked today because you're getting a new pickup.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
See
man,
now.
I can't have you unhappy with a product.
Well, see now I definitely have to take you out for pizza next time
Oh
you're in
man, we're doing
Chicago.
that regardless. Yeah,
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
You're way too good of a guy, man. We'll
Oh,
make it
thanks,
happen.
man. Thanks, man. You too. So, what have you been listening to lately? By the way, like new music, or what have been some new bands that you've
Stand Atlantic,
discovered? Stand Atlantic. You're just
Stand
now
Atlantic.
discovering Stand Atlantic, or
During quarantine.
okay,
Yep, during quarantine, and they are by far the only pop punk band that's modern pop punk band that's just doing it right and just I mean something special. I mean there's something special there, man. God, Bonnie's voice with their musicality and the way that they write. Uh, damn, they've got their own thing, right?
yes,
They're another one of those things that they've got their own sound, man. And I just love them. I really do. I love Stan Atlantic.
same here, man.
You really? So I listen to a shit ton of them.
Yeah, there's I go through periods where
Of course.
it's just on repeat. Right now I'm in a Goldfinger stage.
Oh, really?
And
That's too much. It's too punk for me.
that really Goldfinger is too punk for you? That's so weird
It's too
because
straightforward. I
well,
need something else.
well, it's funny because Goldfinger is on much more of the melodic end of
of punk.
punk
I would
rock
agree.
and
I totally
ska.
would agree.
Like that's like, it's not too abrasive. It's definitely more on the,
It is. It
the
is.
melodic end.
I think it's the chord structures. I think it's the, that standard T formation, or you know what I mean, or I don't know. I don't
But
know, man. I wish I could explain it. I know people hate me for it. I just wish maybe I'm not explaining it right. It's just something that doesn't. It's boring.
well,
It's more of a boring. As a guitar player, I want to hear some shit, but I want to hear some different tones or some different articulations of something. I need a little sprinkle of some stuff. I don't know.
no,
It's hard to explain, dude. I
no.
fucking hate it.
I get what you're saying. I see. I'm a simplistic guitar player,
Sure,
so like that's
I
why
understand,
I love the shit out of
and I get that.
out
Yeah,
of
and there's a
yeah.
place for those. So
Oh yeah.
MXPX did it right. And why is it? Why do I like MXPX but I don't like Goldfinger? Is it because I love uh oh my god, somebody shoot me. I love the vocalist. I love his voice. I love how he writes melodies. Is it because of that? What catches me? It's not too much. Something about MXPX isn't too much. It's
Maybe.
weird.
Well, let's since we were talking about guitar work.
Yeah.
Maybe let's. I mean, I obviously wholeheartedly agree with you about Mike Herrera. He's an amazing songwriter.
Shit.
But
Herrera, duh. Brian's gonna fucking shoot me.
but if we're talking about Tom and his guitar work, it's probably because Tom has always he's always been clever with.
Yeah.
And he's always been good about using a mix of power chords, bar chords, full chords.
Full chords,
but
yeah.
also, I think it's because we're talking about, Goldfinger has always been a 4-piece or more.
True.
And MXPX has mainly been a trio for most of their, career, except for the last... I guess it's been quite a few years now that they are actually a 4-piece, but I think that's why is when you're a trio like that, you kind of and maybe not every trio is like this because Green Day obviously, Billy Joe's guitar work versus Tom's is so different,
Totally different.
But with Tom, I don't know, it's hard to. He was just creative at balancing, like making his rhythm parts just creative and more like.
And I gotta agree with you.
It's like
I gotta agree with you.
It's like
That's it.
It's like he writes half lead but half rhythm.
Because he's a single guitar player, so he feels like he has to fill some sonic space, right?
Yeah.
And especially live. And I think you're right. So there's that, along with Mike Herrera and how he writes, and as a cohesive unit, it's just fucking great. It's incredible.
Yeah.
They're the best punk. They're my favorite punk band. Like solid
Absolutely.
punk. They're my favorite punk band, bar none.
Yep.
Blink-182 is not even a close second.
Yeah.
That's not even close. It's not even close.
I completely agree, man. I feel the exact same way. There's just something about that band, as a team. Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of the stories so far too.
Okay.
They're another, more sad boy, I guess, that different, more gritty, more angsty pop punk, I guess, right? But it's
I don't know. Bonnie from Stand Atlantic, she can get pretty angry sounding,
doesn't she? Yeah, her voice is phenomenal.
Yeah, she's very versatile.
Yeah,
that band is they've proved over a pretty short amount of time that they don't plan on kind of sticking themselves in a niche,
Oh no! The last release that they just came out with, what was it, last week? I was like, the fuck?
I think I just now, for some reason, I don't know how I missed that, but I just like kind of became aware of that this week. And,
oh man, that song is a banger.
It is, and it's even more different than their
anything
their last
in Pink
release.
Elephant.
Right, exactly.
And I love Pink Elephant.
Pink Elephant was great.
Fucking love it.
But so was
Skinny Dipping. Great.
All of that. It's just it's all been good, but it's all been different. So, and they're really good at keeping things not not too different, but different enough. It's I guess pleasing the old and drawing in the new kind of thing. So I feel like they have a good balance of
100%.
that. So, and I think that's what makes them so special.
I agree,
Um,
man.
but yeah, we're getting close to time. So, I mean, Eugene Levy, obviously, On the Rocks is out now. That was put out in what, April?
Yep.
So, people can obviously go stream that. Can they download it on Bandcamp?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Well, regardless, they can listen to it and they can watch the music video on YouTube.
YouTube. Yep.
So
Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Alexa. Tell her to play "On the Rocks" by Eugene Levy, and yeah, I mean, listen to it, please.
yes.
All of it matters, and it's all appreciated. So,
So anything you want to plug with Eugene Levy before we close out?
I want to thank all of my sponsors and my team. Obviously, Paul Reed Smith, Evertune Bridges, Thad Shoemaker Guitar Works for doing what he does to my guitars before every show and every video and all that. Right, so it makes them look pretty and makes them sound good. Um, I want to obviously on behalf of the band, thank those guys, right, for everything that they've done for me in regards to letting me do what I do in Eugene Levy. And yeah, thanks to all of our significant others for letting us do this. I know that's tough, right? So it's tough to be a significant other in this. So uh, yeah, other than that, you know, just keep listening to us, man. Buy some merch from us. EugeneLevyBand.com. Shopify is our merch store. So, yeah, man, help us out, support us. Oh man, he went down. His internet's down. That's a sweet face, though. I'm the only one live here. That's crazy. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Check out Eugene Levy. Thank you.